You are a Mac user. So that means you are safe and secure from viruses, malware, and ransomware that plagues Windows-based desktops, right? Wrong. For Tech Republic and ZDNet, I'm Dan Patterson with Addigy CEO Jason Dettbarn. Jason, what are the major current threats to the Mac OS environment?
Yeah, I mean, Meltdown and Spectre are definitely one of them. We had an interesting scare come early December when we had the root password vulnerability come about too, and that was quickly patched. But even the Meltdown and Spectre fixes are considered to be partial, not fully complete. And the weird thing about this latest release that they put out, the first security update of the year, it had, I believe, 8 kernel patches. So that's spread across 3 different operating systems. It's been still creating some havoc, probably about 15% failure rates on the update.
So can you explain a little bit about what Spectre and Meltdown, the threat that Spectre and Meltdown represent to Mac users?
Yeah, I mean, one interesting part about how everything's evolved in the last few months is we've moved to a brand new operating system. And that operating system was built on a file system that was really built for pre-Intel, the ARM-based and Dragon Ball chips that they were using. So when they moved to Intel-based chips, APFS, the new file system, gave us some advantages. We were swapping bytes, swapping data records every time they came over to the CPU. We got to speed up there. We got to speed up on SSDs. And now the Meltdown Spectre issue creates an issue where Intel, obviously every Intel chip out there, we're able to read the memory before an execution period. It basically does some speculative execution of stuff, branch prediction that it does, and is able to execute things ahead of time because it's already in the pipeline, and they can grab that and start using that.
So if I run in the Mac environment, or my business is based in the Mac environment, how can I, in the Windows environment, I can run a virus scan, I can put up a firewall and have some assurance that I've done my basic due diligence to protect my system. How can I do the same thing for a Mac environment?
Yeah, right now, the only thing that we're able to do is apply that security update that came out a little over a week and a half ago. And that is the first security update of the year from Apple. Huge bundle of security CV vulnerabilities. And that's the only thing you can do right now to start guarding yourself against it. Most of the execution that we see has to be done upon a restart for truly taking over main operations. So be cognizant of restarts that didn't happen under your control.
So what are some of the best practices for maintaining a clean Mac environment?
Yeah, I mean, the patching is the first one, right? And Windows users are notoriously bad about this. The time to average patches is pretty bad. Mac users at an organization level, it's even worse. So individual users might be a little bit better about applying patches, but organizations, you don't know if people just haven't done it in a long time, especially older operating systems. Apple was lucky to apply the security update across El Capitan, Sierra, and High Sierra. But that's where we feel like it was a huge security update that was a lot to absorb. They don't really patch El Capitan much anymore. It's all Sierra and High Sierra. And that's why we've been seeing a lot of problems with this. We have to weigh this particular security update out because it's been causing a lot of problems across the board. So the question is, do you want to stay current on that security or compromise stability to get there?
So looking at the next, say, 18 to 36 months, what threats can Mac users anticipate?
I think we all expect it's going to grow. This is not a provocative statement. The Mac in the enterprise is growing at a very fast rate. Apple was lucky to push out 25% growth of the Mac sales for last year. And we see this growing in leaps and bounds. A lot of the users that are using the Macs are creatives, areas that hold intellectual property, and business owners. And so that C-suite and the level of information on these machines is of high value. So maybe they're less of the population, but people are really starting to target the Macs quite a bit.